Hello, here with a Make It Monday. How are you today, my friends? Okay, so not only is it Make It Monday, and I'm here with you to show you how to do this fabulous prized peony thinking of you card, but this is my very first ever YouTube live on my channel. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for being here with me. This is an adventure in itself, so I'm excited to see how everything goes. Let me see if I've got chat. All right, I'm not sure how that works, so uh, there we go. Okay, I'm not sure. But anyway, so sorry about that. I can't see any messages. So if you're commenting, just know that I will reply to messages later. Thank you all so much for being here. Oh my goodness, there's 7 people on already. That's great. Thank you. Okay, all right, here we go. So today's project is a prized peony thinking of you card, and I absolutely love the colors, and the gold embossing is absolutely beautiful. And you know, who doesn't need a thinking of you card now and then, right? So let's get started. Okay, here's what you're going to need. First things first, you're going to need a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 Rococo Rose cardstock scored at 4 1/4, and this is going to give us our card base. And of course, I'm going to burnish that line really good so it's nice and crisp. And then you'll also need a piece of 4" by 5 1/4" Whisper White. This is going to be for the inside of the card. You know what I always say, no naked insides, no naked envelopes. So the inside of this card has a beautiful white layer with that gorgeous, distinctive stamped peony inside. All right, so we need that piece. And then we're going to need another piece of 4" by 5 1/4" Rococo Rose cardstock. And we're going to emboss this one with the Scripty 3D embossing folder. This is probably one of my absolute favorite embossing folders so far in our collection. I love the scripty words, and it's just beautiful, and it makes a perfect background. As you can see here, it gives just a beautiful amount of texture, and it's so soft and feminine and absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Okay, and then you'll also need a piece of the scalloped linen ribbon. This is, of course, the Rococo Rose trimmed one. And it's approximately 4.5 inches, maybe 4 3/4, maybe. You just want enough to go across and tuck the ends on either side, okay? And then I also have a little piece of Whisper White cardstock that I've stamped my sentiment in Memento black ink. And I used the stitched rectangle shapes to cut it out with. That gives just a little extra dimension and texture to the front of the card. And then I have pre-embossed and die cut 2 of those large, gorgeous peony flowers. So if you don't know how to heat emboss, I'll put a link down below on one of my videos that shows how to do that. But you'll need Versamark ink and embossing powder and a heat tool, and that makes the beautiful gold image as you see here that I haven't colored yet. And then I'm using Mossy Meadow and the Rococo Rose Stampin' Right markers. Now, I'm using Stampin' Right markers instead of blends because I've noticed that when I try to color something that's been heat embossed with Stampin' blends, it dulls the finish. Like, it kind of takes the shine off of it. And I didn't want to do that because the way that I'm coloring, I'm not being really, really careful about being inside the lines. So I don't want to get any of this beautiful gold shine taken away. All right, so now let me bring in my scrap paper and my Pierce mat. Now you don't need the Pierce mat for this in particular, but I'm going to show you how I color and then how I make the accent colors on the piece. So I don't know if you can tell on the pink parts, there's light pink and dark pink. And I'm only using my Stampin' Right marker, okay? So the fact of how careful I'm being coloring, let me show you. Scribble, 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 scribble. Scribble, scribble, scribble some more. Scribble, scribble, scribble some more. Scribble, scribble. There we go. And then I'm going to take a tissue and just give it a little blot. And that's just getting the excess ink off of the embossing, because it'll just sit there and hang out until you smudge and smear it, and then it gets all over your project and it's awful. Okay, so now the next thing is to go back over and give your bits some accent color. So all I'm doing is going back over the same piece again. Okay, so on this little bud, I'm just going to add some darker stuff to the bottom of it, because that's where, you know, the shadowing is and the more dark color is. So I'm just adding that in and kind of working it up the piece. Now on the big peony itself, I just went along the edges of it just to give some dimension and texture to the petals, and then blot again. Now of course you don't want to smudge, because like I said, that ink just sits right on top of the embossing, so as soon as you swipe you'll get it all over your trim. So just blot it with some tissue and you will be right as rain. Alright, moving right along. So the first things that I want to do is take the embossed piece of cardstock and the ribbon, and I've already put a strip of tear and tape across the back of the ribbon. I like doing it this way because I don't have to worry about it slipping and sliding and moving around. And when I'm not tying it into bow, I don't have to worry about it. So, alright, let me put this piece right about there. And I'm just kind of straightening it as I go. And then I'm going to tuck the edges, just like so. And when I use the tear and tape, this makes it really nice because it's already attached and I don't have to fuss with it, right? Okay, now I'm going to put this piece on dimensionals. So let me just flip it over and start getting my dimensionals here. Of course, you know that I use absolutely every bit of my dimensionals. So I cut all of the borders up as well once I have taken out all of the middle stuff. So I like doing that. I use every single piece of it because it's good stuff and I don't want it to go to waste. And you get an awful lot from the edges. So it's really nice. If you're not already doing that, you are missing out on a good share of Stampin' Dimensionals. Now, you'll notice that I am putting quite a bit on here, and that's because it's a big piece. And I don't want it to sag in the middle when it's on the card. So I'm putting a little bit extra there. And now we'll take the backings off. Here we go. Oh, hey, Miss Catherine. Thank you. Yes, they are very pretty. I am in love with this set. It is a really, really nice set. And I love the 3D dimensional one too. I saw somebody just... oh, Kimberly says she loves the live, but can you make the picture a little closer? Miss Kimberly, I'll tell you what, I will try to do that, but YouTube Live is, I will admit, quite a bit different than my usual Facebook Live. So let me see. Oh, whoa, 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 that's touchy. Okay. All right, let's see here. Maybe just a tiny bit. How's that? Did I just... I don't know if I just went back to where I was or not, but boy, this bugger is touchy. There we go. Okay. All right. I hope that's a little bit better for you, Miss Kim. Okay. Now that we've got the background piece on here, we're going to attach our peonies. And, I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus on this bottom one because anytime you're doing anything on embossing, sometimes the regular adhesive doesn't stick as well. So I typically will use tear and tape or liquid glue. But in this case, I really want to have just a nice little clean adhesive here. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal, and the Stampin' Seal Plus rather, and just put a couple of little spots here on the back of the piece. And this stuff is uber sticky. So be really careful and be serious in your conviction about where you lay it. All right, so I think it's right about there. I hope it's right about there because it is stuck. Now I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this piece so that I can give my project a little more texture. You'll hear me say that a bit on this one because I am in love with how much there is to see and feel on this card. Here we go. Let me put this little piece right there. All right, and I feel like maybe I need just one more. There we go. All right, much better. Okay, great. I am glad to hear that. So this is definitely a learning curve, not at all like my normal pre-recorded Make It Monday videos. So you're seeing me creating live, good, bad, or ugly. So I thank you all so much for being here and hanging out with me. This is really exciting. I've been looking forward to doing YouTube Live, and I still have the promise of a YouTube Live party for you, which I have not forgotten about. So that will be coming up, I think, very soon. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I had anticipated doing it, I believe, at the end of the month, but I've had a Stampin' Escape that I've been working on with my friend Wendy Lee, and that's kind of a lot of work. So we've been pretty busy, and I haven't had the chance to get everything together, and of course I want it to be absolutely fantastic for you. So if you will indulge me just a little bit more time, I will have an absolutely amazing YouTube Live party for you that you are not going to want to miss out on. All right? So let me stick that one off to the side. And there we go. I didn't really need the full-size Stampin' Dimensionals, and I don't have any more minis right here accessible, so I was just cutting those in half so that they're out of the way. All right, now this one's going to be slightly different, as you can see, because my piece is down just a little bit lower, and so with that in mind, it's going to overlap the peony just a little bit. And so what you want to do when that happens, because this peony is already raised up a little bit, and because I want this to be on dimensionals as well, what I had to do was go ahead and peel this dimensional off, and I'm going to just put some adhesive there. Let's put some of this Seal Plus, and it'll stick directly to the peony that's already raised up, and this way my sentiment piece is even and one side isn't higher up than the other. All right, just like that. Okay, and now I will go ahead and bring my piercing mat and scrap paper back in. Now I have found that when you're stamping distinctive images, if you use the pierce mat, you get a cleaner and more detailed image. Okay, so I'm going to tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. And I'm just going to stamp ever so gently right in the corner and give it a nice firm pressure and hold for a second for the ink to go into the paper, and then pull it off, and I have a beautiful stamped image that's ready to go inside the card. Okay, so now let me grab my Stampin' Seal, and here we go. And then we'll put it inside here, and it's going to be beautiful. Whoops, hold on, card. Pay attention here. All right. And just like that. All right, friends, there you have it. A beautiful peony card. Listen, if you don't already have the Prized Peony set, you really want to get it. The stamps are absolutely gorgeous. There's this beautiful little background piece that you can just add some texture to the background without much effort. The sentiments are absolutely beautiful, and those dies are amazing. So there are a couple of dies to cut out the peony flower stamped images, and then there's also the set of dies that you can use to build the 3D peony, which I will put a link for that down in the description as well, because I've done a video showing you how to put that 3D peony together, and it's absolutely stunning, so you'll love it. All right, friends, thank you so much for spending time with me. I appreciate your patience with my first YouTube Live here, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. And be on the lookout for that YouTube Live party, which I promise will happen very soon. And if you need any of the supplies that I've used here today, you can visit my website, danasullivan.stampinup.net, and visit my blog, stampinchicktn.blogspot.com, for this project, other projects, and lots of ideas. If you're not already a subscriber to my channel, please click the subscribe down below so that you don't miss the next one, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.